Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Bubbles, the podcast about comics, anime, pop culture, and all that entails. And today I have a couple of guests you've seen before. Want to welcome back in the studio Ms. Laurie Calcaterra, gosh, and Marco Defillo.
Yes.
Yay!
Yes, hey, look at that. Got it. I struggle. As you all know, I sometimes butcher names. Sorry.
I'll give
But-
you an approval.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So, as we know, you guys, a writer and writer/artist, some amazing stuff. But for you, Laurie, I saw you at Texoma Comic Con.
Yeah, we were there together.
Yeah, how was that show?
It was great. It was amazing because that was the first time Texoma has had a Comic-Con.
Mhm.
They have never had a comic. They don't even have a comic book store there.
Nope.
The closest store to Durant, Oklahoma is in McKinney.
No, Sherman.
Is
Sherman.
it Sherman? Okay, I
Well,
thought we were talking about McKinney.
No, it's Sherman for now. It's Wolverine Comics, but they're closing in May, so yeah, they're going to be gone. So yeah, Sherman. I mean, McKinney.
So for that kind of community who wasn't really used to having a Comic-Con, they all came out. They were like, they had, they just wanted to explore and see what was there. Sold quite a bit of stuff. I sold just as much hot sauce as I did comic books that weekend.
Hey,
But-
let's go. Hot sauce win, hot sauce W.
It was definitely interesting. It was an interesting crowd, but I think they're all looking forward to next year.
Yeah.
They're all like, you all are coming back, right? And we're
Yeah,
like,
it was really good. That's my hometown.
Is it really?
Yeah, I graduated high school there, so Saturday night we all went out with Stephanie Nadolny, the voice
Okay,
actress.
yeah.
We graduated. Well, she didn't graduate there, but she was in my class. But we went out that night. We got all our friends together and had a little mini class reunion. And there were a few drinks and some other things. But it was fun.
I heard some stories about the hotel that night.
Yeah, I didn't stay in the hotel. I went
Okay.
home. No,
wasn't you then.
that was not me. But I did hear some stuff.
Right?
But so enough about that. Let's get
Yeah.
into what is going on with you guys now. What's coming up? I know you have something big and exciting.
We're always doing something. I feel like Marco and I are just constantly moving and shaking, right? So right now we have our Kickstarter that is live for the trade paperback of Path of the Pale Rider.
Let's go.
So yeah, that's the collection of issues 1 through 4, which was a good spot to kind of do this because when you look at the first arc, it's like a movie, and this was like the first act of the movie. And then we went back and we remastered issue number 1, so it's all in color. We added a bunch of bonus material. It's 148 pages in this gorgeous book. I crammed in a bunch of stuff in the back, so I'm not going to say that out loud.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
No.
that's what she said. I'm just going to say it. Sorry, Terry. Anyway, but where we're at right now, I think we're over 200% funded. We're at like 211% funded.
Amazing.
Oh,
So we still got, as of right now, we still got a week left. When this airs, I think there'll be like 4 days left. But there's some amazing merch on that campaign as well. So it's like you get our book and the bonus material, but you also get like hot sauce and homemade books. And there's custom art from Marco. There's a ton of really cool things that you can't get on other campaigns.
Right.
So
is this the only way that they can get issue 1 in color, or is issue 1 available in color by itself?
this is the first time that you can get it as color, but I also have an add-on where you can get the floppy of number 1 in color as well.
Ooh.
Going forward, that black and white issue is going to be out of print.
Yes.
So once we sell them out, there won't be any more. It'll be just issue 1 in color, and then once we sell out of issues 2, 3, and 4, those are going out of print too. Because why? The trade paperback is gorgeous,
Yes.
and it'll be cheaper to purchase a trade with all the bonus material. It'll be cheaper to do that than to get a full set of floppies. However, if you collect the floppies, they'll be available. I can order them for you, but they're going to be kind of a limited, rerun.
Cool.
So
That's really cool. That's exciting. I don't know. I want to see it in color, but I
yeah.
really like the black and white. The black and white
Yeah.
works.
It does. And it's cool to have it both ways
Mhm.
because with the black and white, your mind kind of fills in all the,
Mhm.
it fills in the trauma,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because at the end, did some things. We made some choices. Marco was not nice to our
There's
horse.
some trauma.
There is some trauma.
There is.
I mean,
Hold
it
on.
was in the script, right? Let me
That
back
wasn't
up.
a question. That was a there is some trauma.
There is trauma
Yeah, it's a
in the end,
statement,
right?
declarative.
It'll mess you up reading it. And so it's like when you read it in black and white, your mind fills in the blanks.
Mm-hmm.
But in color, I don't know if it'll hit harder because all the red is there.
Yeah, it might. It might.
And I got to be honest with you, I have read the black and white version 1,000 times. And when I went back and I saw it in color, there's things that popped out from your art that, when Matt went and colored it that I was like, oh, I never noticed that zombie foot in the middle of the road in front of Big James before. You know what I mean? So different things will pop out. The experience is different. So take it for what you want. But we had always intended to do it in color. We just couldn't afford it in the beginning when we were just starting.
Right.
Well,
So,
all those people who have the black and white, it's a limited edition now.
yes.
Yeah.
There you
It's
go.
100% what it is.
It's like the beginning. Like,
Mhm.
right when the book gets even further, they'll be like, oh, yeah, I have the black and white. It's like something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's man, and I love that. I love because that's like I don't know. It just shows that I can tell everybody I was on board early.
Yeah.
I didn't get just the color. I was
The
there from
black
the
and
beginning.
white.
Yeah.
Oh, you just
Yeah.
found out about this? Well, I've been here the whole
Yeah.
time.
You can tell
Right,
I've been
right.
here
Right,
because I have the
right.
black and
Yeah,
white.
yeah.
Right?
Oh, you don't have the black and white?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
interesting. Like,
Yeah, it's I was telling them earlier, Josh, off air, that it's kind of cool that we're getting to know them now before they blow up, so that we can say, we knew them when they were, regular everyday people, not celebrities.
absolutely.
Now I can say,
Marco's going to blow up pretty quick.
We're all blowing up.
yeah, that's it. We all want
And
to
I
blow
don't
up.
mean like dynamite explosive,
No, like
pieces of
riff-raff,
Marco.
bro.
And-
I mean like,
And what's funny with that statement you just said is somewhere in your mind you figured a way in some book to make him blow up.
not Marco specifically. I actually do have an issue called Good Neighbors Make Good Fences,
There we
and
go.
we blow up a ton of people. It's great.
See? I knew it.
Like that's the one we blow up everything. It's a good time. So we gotta.
No one wants to be in your head.
We look normal. We do things that are crazy, so it comes out. You know what I mean? When you see the people that dress crazy, that's when you know, like, they're actually normal.
Right?
It's us normies that you got to be afraid of.
Normies?
Yeah, we look normal.
Fear the normies.
Yeah,
We're
feel-
not.
Ooh, that's a working title. Fear
Yeah.
the normies.
Yeah,
You're
let's-
the normie.
Everybody in the comments.
Terry,
is
write that
probably a
down.
little
Write
Yeah,
that down.
yeah. Fear the
weird. A little
normies.
weird. All people in comments are a little weird.
We are.
We are, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we pretend that we're not.
Even those of us that just read and sell them, yeah, we're a little weird too.
Yeah, but that makes it great.
Yeah, exactly.
No boring conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Marco, what do you got going on?
So this year, in addition to working with Pale Rider and coming out with issue 4, and getting inside Laurie's head,
Hazard pay.
last time I talked to you about a concept that I have, what I call Cyber Dragon. I started this year to sit down and finally get my own story out. So I'm going through the basics of like learning how to write my own story and all that. And I officially do have a script. And I actually officially named it Kingdom of Heights. It's a kind of flavor of a cyberpunk world mixed with Indiana Jones, kind of like a treasure hunt with elements of like Elder Scrolls with fantasy creatures in the background. It's fun. I'm developing it right now.
Mhm.
I'm already starting to run through some of the pages. People who've seen me at cons were able to see like the first few samples of those pages, and they'll see. And to my mind, a little bit, I got a crazy color palette, but it's working. It's connecting with people, and people are so far good reviews on the early stages. And you can actually see some of the early works. I'm trying to allow people into the process of me leading into this story through my Instagram as much as I can. At some point, I'm gonna
Right.
have to.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, I'm
Spoilers.
But I'm planning to do so much with this story. I think I'm coming up with a concept book with this world too. It's kind of world building. But it's been a good process. I teamed up with the person I did Malka with. That book came out, and now he helps me get my thoughts in line.
Yeah.
But it's been a fun process. So I've been doing it. I've been trying to learn everything.
Yeah,
In a
cool.
sense, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, do you hit this one up for any pointers or hey, what do you think?
Eventually I will. I mean,
She's-
eventually I will. I've been connecting to all. I've been using all my
Because I don't know. Sometimes I just thought that you hit her up and you're like, hey, Laurie, I have this idea of, this little, some kind of a scenario where it's all like flowers and horses and things. And then she comes
But
in
I'm
and
like,
adds,
kill it.
And what?
kill everything.
Yeah, she's like, that's
like,
interesting.
well?
Yeah, that's interesting. But have you thought about killing
Wait,
it?
Yeah.
what happens if we kill it?
Yeah.
well,
We could run it over with a giant bear.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff we can do.
in addition to Laurie, my background with mentors have not been that. Have you ever reading some of Cal Strum's stuff?
Have
like
you read Spread?
and all
Yes.
that?
Yes.
It comes from a horror background. A lot of Kansas City artists do a lot of horror and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, Laurie, in addition to my mentors, all horror. So,
Sorry.
I already had elements into that
So
story.
as in, but
Well, that and I feel so bad because I've been so busy because I run the Kickstarters and I'm filming a short film and I'm going to Texoma and I'm setting up, you know, book signings and all that. So I feel like sometimes Marco's like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "I'm crazy right now," and he's like, "All right, well, I won't ask you for anything."
But
yeah,
to be fair,
as
Laurie-
opposed to
Normal. This is normal. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, pretty
But to be
much.
fair, Laurie has heard me rant about this story for a while.
It's such a good story,
So
and I'm
I've
so happy that you're finally just like getting in there.
getting in there. Yes,
and
I mean
doing
she heard so many versions of it.
Yep.
So she's helped me run through the process, like the jumble that's in my head, and put it into kind of like a straight line, so where I can tell the story and be effective about it.
It's
Nice.
mostly me being like, "But why?
Yeah.
But why is this happening?"
yeah. So
And he just be like, "Well,
yeah,
like explain it to me."
Well,
so-
I do have all the answers now.
yeah, nice. So is this going to be something you do through Kickstarter?
Potentially, yes. I am outsourcing too.
Oh, cool.
So I really can't say anything right now.
Right.
To like
Sure.
lower
That's fine.
expectations, you
Yep.
know, lower expectations. The first thing I want to say is that I am getting this book out this year. This
Awesome.
is the year because I'm tired of saying that I'm going to write this book.
Yep.
So I am going to get it out there.
Amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey,
Amazing.
there we go.
So we definitely can't wait to see it. So when it's ready to go, I want you back on to let us know where we can get it, where it's going to be,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. And as for you also,
Yeah.
Ms. Laurie, you are also you're still writing Psycho Sal, correct?
Yes.
For some
That is
reason,
such a crazy book.
yeah. If for you all who don't know, William Russell, the
Huh?
the
personality.
artist, the personality of this. If you meet him and you meet her, you can see he delivers. Not that Marco doesn't, but it's a different Path of the Pale Rider and Psycho Sal are two completely different.
Oh yeah, so
books.
different.
And the art style is so different.
Yeah.
And they work with it's literally like both of them seem like they have a maniac writing them.
To be fair, I did not write Psycho Sal 1, 2, and 3. A different maniac wrote those 3, and I had to pick up
True.
where he left off.
Yeah. Well-
and then I took that line that he had set in the ground, and I went right past it.
You just rubbed it out and
was like, no, that's not scary enough. That's not traumatizing
Yeah.
enough.
So let me
We're
have
gonna
it.
go, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
hold my beer, Terry. Here
yeah,
we go.
we're going in.
See, this
It's,
is where the inspiration of my writings come from.
He's like that crazy person in my story,
Yeah, yeah. It's loosely based.
loosely based on this
Loosely.
maniac
Yeah.
sitting next
Loosely.
to me.
Very cool. But so
Yeah,
so there's issues 1 through 6 out of that, right?
correct. 6 is currently on Kickstarter.
Okay.
How
How can
it's
they-
just nuts. His
Really?
following just all come
Yeah.
out, and I think it's weird when you bring on someone else. Like I do this all the time with variant artists, and some of their people will come and some of them won't. Issues 4 and 5, people knew I was writing it, but were kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of different from what you've written in the past. 6, everybody is there, so a ton of my following is now following Psycho Sal, which
Right.
is of course what we hope for.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're getting the whole shebang. They're getting all caught up on all
Yep.
6, and I'm like, oh, just you wait.
Yeah.
So,
And hopefully it's vice versa. You get some of the Psycho Sal folks coming
Yeah.
to, man, they just read Psycho Sal and they're like,
she's
issues,
messed up.
issues 3 through 6 are intense. What else does she write?
Well, 4, 5, and 6, remember, we switched perspective.
Right.
So that's what's really neat about Psycho Sal is that 1, 2, and 3 are from the detective point of view.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually FBI behavioralist, you know, they're in looking for the serial killer. And then 4, we pick up with the female character who ends up a victim.
Mhm.
But you have to see what
Yeah.
happens in issue 6.
Yeah.
Because
Dun,
if
dun,
you
dun.
know me and you know, if you know how I leave people hanging at the end of the issue,
A rope? Oh,
Nah,
sorry.
that
My
too.
mind went to.
that too.
Yeah.
That happens
Yeah.
too. And if you get attached to minor characters, I'm sorry, I kill them all. So things happen.
But that's what's fun about that's. And again, I go back to my love for independent writers right
Yeah.
now. Is I like the fact that when I read, Superman, I don't read DC. I'm going to use DC. I'm going to
Okay.
add them in for you DC people. When I read Superman, Batman, which I don't read, or the Avengers, or the X-Men, any of them, and someone dies, they're not going to be dead.
Right,
they're
'cause they
coming
come
back.
back. Right.
But with independence, someone dies. It's heart-wrenching because
They
I
ain't
liked
coming
that
back.
person and they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gone. I
Yeah.
mean,
They ain't coming back.
but you even kill animals though.
Sorry. I know that's like the unspoken rule. It's like dogs, horses, and children.
Yeah.
And guess who?
and you cross all those barriers.
I haven't killed a dog yet. We'll just say that. But,
But
the
listen,
other ones,
But
hey.
listen, what
But-
if we do kill them?
Yeah. Wait a minute. I've not killed a dog yet, meaning
Yet.
you've killed a child,
in
possibly.
Maybe. I don't know.
allegedly
Yeah.
in one of the stories.
Just go read all the.
Marco. Look at Marco. Did you see? Marco's just
Yeah,
like,
he's like,
shut up.
Well, technically, Pale Rider, you kill everybody, so it's not.
I
like,
mean-
it's like
you kill
I can
everybody, so-
imagine the look on
Some people I killed
Marco-
twice.
Marco's face or William's face when they get
Oh, William's like,
this
yes.
is how we killed the baby. And draw
There's
this
a big
baby
difference
death.
between the two, right? Because
Yeah.
Marco's like, Laurie, are you sure you
Yeah.
want to portray? I'm like, yes.
And William's like, yes.
William's like, could we kill him again?
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess this question is like, where are you going with,
Yeah.
to the future?
Yeah,
you know?
because it's like-
it can't be pointless.
Yeah. Here,
I'm like,
Marco.
oh,
yeah.
we're doing this. And he's
Here.
like, that's kind of
Yeah.
a line.
Yeah.
Do you want to put? And I'm like, we're pushing that
Yeah.
line.
Mar-
We're
yeah.
just doing it.
How are you with baby death, Marco?
How do you feel about babies dying, Marco?
I don't know if I can get that dark, but I mean, if they ask me to do it, I'm
Jeez.
gonna have to
Yeah, it's like-
find a way to do it.
Does it go? Marco's only question is, does it go with the story?
And,
And
if
it
it has
does.
those with the
Yeah.
story, I'm like, okay. But it's like if it's
How would you
pointless, I'm
draw
like,
this?
oh.
Or it's just, yeah.
In Marco's defense, a lot of times I'm like, and then this happens. And he was like, yeah, I can do that. And I'm like, okay, that's the only response. I'm like, I'm always worried it's going to be pushback, or he's just like,
It's too
what's
far.
wrong with,
Marco's
I'm
like-
always waiting
Yeah.
for that.
Marco's
And he's like,
just
no,
like,
I can do that.
I'll handle this.
And I'm like, it needs to be like super
Yeah.
gory and
Right.
like things exploding.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, okay.
I always go back to that when my nephew comes up to me. He's like, "Can you draw air?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can
you draw
that."
air?
Can you draw? Because he's a minor. He's asking if I could draw anything, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I can draw about anything. I just have to figure it out."
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So.
Sorry, Marco.
So lots of things happening apparently. Both you guys are busy. So throughout this busyness, obviously I know you were at Texoma and you went to
Planet
where-
Comic Con.
Planet
Yeah.
Comic Con, Kansas City. How was that?
It was fun. I got to see a lot. So I graduated from Kansas City Art Institute, so I have a lot of connections when it comes to like upcoming artists, my mentors. I had great opportunities over there. So going back there, I was able to go talk to them, show them what I was working on, get feedback, meet some. And there was a really cool dude, like a lot of cool people up there. Like, well, I closely follow this artist I got to meet. It was, oh my God. My mind just went blank.
No! Matt-
Jim Mafood.
Thank you.
Jim Mafood. His art style is really insane. I think it does Tank Girl, but he took his
Tank
sketch-
Girl.
Tank Girl. Yeah.
I just want to make sure people heard that.
Tank
Tank Girl, everybody.
But he does a lot of crazy. He does cool stuff. He
just
he used-
glosses over it like it's no. It was just Tank Girl. No.
I mean, I'm more fascinated about the art style. You know, it's like when you do your sketchbook, you're scared to people looking into it because you see all those mistakes, you see those flaws and all that. What Jim Mafood does, he allows that to happen, and it turns it into an art style, and that fascinates me. It's like he has the confidence to just put a line down, and he uses pen just to create those figures. And I studied those, and I got to meet him, which he's connected to my mentor. He knew my mentor, so it's like. And I actually
Very
asked
cool.
him to mentor me too, but he's an extremely busy dude. But I got to meet a lot of people. A lot of people came by, a lot of good conversations. People tried to mess up Dune for me, Dune 2, because I had Dune print.
Let's go.
He's like, do you remember at the end when this happened? You're like, no.
I haven't seen it. But no, I had a chance to people look into my stuff. Like I said, I was working on Kingdom of Heights. We had early preview pages, early reactions. People were into it. They were telling me they wanted to read it, and I was like, I'll get that for you.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was good. It was fun. It was
Cool.
fun.
So, when you go to shows, I know you have your sketchbook, man, and it obviously, I'm sure you have prints that people can buy, that kind of thing. Do you do commissions as well?
I do. Actually, that's a funny story. So when I started doing Planet Comic Con, this person came up to me. I've got several commissions at Comic Cons, but this person came up to me and was like, you know what? I want you to do a commission for me, but I don't want you to do it right now. I want to see your style developed, and when it comes to, I'm gonna give you a commission. And actually, after 3 years, he came by this year. He came up to
really?
me. Yeah, no, and I noticed it. I was like, hold up. You're that guy that told me that he wanted an Aquaman. But he came to me on Sunday at the very end. And he was like, oh, my God, I should have came to you earlier because I seen your style developed. And he said, but next year, I want you to do a commission for me. For
Next
Aquaman.
year.
That's
Well,
cool.
and it's cool because he keeps coming back. He is determined to come back and see my development. And the cool
That's
response.
great, but get the commission.
Give me the money.
Because then he can have like a progression. He'll be like, here's Marco in 2024, here's Marco in 2025, and as you continue to develop, that would be cool.
Yeah.
It is cool, but I'm always wondering when people come up to me and give me random commissions. I did a couple this year. Actually, the person beside me was like, "Hey, I got a sketchbook." And, like he was tabling next to me. I was like, "Can you do a commission for me?"
Keith?
No, Keith
Was
was
someone else?
Someone else. Someone's
Okay.
student. So, I mean, when people want commissions from me, I kind of take it as a great compliment because it's like, "Oh, you love my style. Let's
Yep.
do this."
And then because I've done that with a few people, I've got to get you to do a Blue Marvel sketch for me as well.
Okay.
Because it was really cool just because I'm a Blue Marvel fanboy. Roberto Rivera Padro did a sketch for me that he worked on, and it was amazing. He signed it, of course, and I took it this last weekend to Comic Conroe and had Kevin Greavius, the creator, sign it for
Cool.
me. Signed that sketch, which is really cool because in my eye, it's just how it is. Like if I have you do a sketch, I now have a one piece of art.
Yeah.
Like it's a unique piece of art that's mine. And it could be a character that you've done 1,000 times. It could be one of your characters. But having you do a commission for me of that character is mine. You did that. And it's just a little more tying to that artist that we like. Because as fanboys, there are certain comics that I've bought that I've never read because I don't care about the story. I don't like characters, but I love the artist on the cover that did the cover art. And it made me buy the book. Or I bought comics because a certain artist did the book. Like if Jim Lee does something, I'm going to buy it.
Right.
It's just kind of what it is. So,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's horrible or not, but I'm one of those suckers for the marketing gimmicks. And I like it because, again, because I like art styles because I can't draw. So seeing someone just sit there and draw that is really, really cool. So
Yeah. I feel the same way when people. It's a one-on-one. I also that's why I always like to show my sketches at cons because it allows them to see that I make mistakes. I put my sketchbook out there and people be like, "That's brave." I'm like, "It is," but it's what it is. That's my art process. That's where you see my purest thoughts in my sketchbook.
Well, but for us as fans, we love it. Oh, let me rephrase that. As a fan, I love that. I love to see the inner workings of your brain, the artist brain.
Yes, I was going to say, we don't put our brains on display.
Well, Laurie, no one wants to see yours. Believe
Yes,
me.
they do.
Yours will be
Yes, they
studied by
do.
scientists when you're dead. They're going to pay your husband
Rewinds to
tons
can you
of
draw
money.
a child dead?
Yeah, tons of money to see how this thing works.
See the abuse I take?
It's not it's amazing. Your stories are great because of you.
Thank you for
Like-
coming on the pod.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming
Yeah.
on. Never coming
Yeah,
back.
because she'll-
Hey.
It's just insane because man, again, it's another one of those things where I've told a couple of writers, I have an idea, but that's all it is. I can say, hey, I had this idea about a bear killing a horse or whatever the story may be, but you can flesh that out and make I don't know how you create or how you do the process of all of the words in a comic. Like, there's so many words in the comic that the thought bubbles and all that is like, how did this dialogue happen in your brain? How does your brain work? Because my brain does not work that way.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's really cool, because it's what I like with you two together is you have a couple of panels where there's nothing said in Path of the Pale Rider, but your art allows me to know exactly what's happening. And so I can read it, and I've read the story. There's silence for these two panels. I know what's going on, but then I can ask someone else what they think, and their mind's a little bit different than mine. So we both put different voices, so to speak.
Yeah, and I like doing that when there's like very powerful emotions that are being displayed, because people will translate it differently. You know what I mean? It's personalized.
Yep.
Because of your background or your previous history, trauma, whatever, you feel something different based off of what their face is showing.
Yeah.
So, and that's all Marco that.
Yeah, and that's a
that.
great compliment to you both, and I meant it that way if it didn't come across that way, that your writing doesn't need Marco's art, and Marco's art doesn't need your writing. But together, it's a great ride. And that's exactly what because I've read 1 through 4, and it's a Path of the Pale Rider, just so you know what I'm talking about. It is a visual and emotional, like, roller coaster.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can describe it. But it's great. I love it. So,
and you know what's funny? This is the first part where you're like, you understand the world and you meet the characters, you understand their motivation. When we start at 5, 6, 7, 8 is like that middle part of the movie where everything goes wrong.
So I'm not gonna ask. How can you have a dead horse?
Nope, it gets worse.
You know, people actually tell me that's when they actually see that scene, they were like, "Oh my god, that's so cool."
But yeah, that's my point.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was cool too.
See?
I don't want to look at it, yet I cannot look away. And
it gets your
okay.
attention.
In the back of my mind, the horse had to die. I get it. It's for the story. I understand it, but it's still a horse died, and I see it.
I know. See, the hardest part of that was getting everybody attached to the horse.
Exactly, and that's why
it.
I care. Because there's that one episode. I was a big Walking Dead fan, and there's that one episode of The Walking Dead where there's this wild horse running around.
Yes.
And in the end, the horse dies.
Yep.
But you've built some kind. If it would have just been, if the horse hadn't been introduced earlier, and it was just happened, he was walking in a field and a horse is getting eaten by zombies.
Yeah.
You wouldn't
nobody
care.
cares.
But when you've seen the horse and it plays a role, and then it's getting eaten, you're like, oh, that's sad.
And Marco drew this great panel.
You either
where
say,
like,
"Oh, that's sad," or you giggle like she just did.
That's how my mind works. Sorry. If it's a little bit out there and I'm just like, hee hee, I'm giggling, like it has crossed the line. But that one panel that Marco drew where he's touching Prince, and I put in the dialogue where I was like, "Happy early birthday, girl." You know, he's giving her shoes for her birthday.
Right.
Yeah.
And then just this nice touching moment. I was like, that's the panel. That's the panel where we got him, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's dead.
I was thinking, because when I read that, I literally thought the whole rest of this series, he and Prince are going to be he's riding along on Prince, and like,
Immediately dead.
yeah, it's like, oh.
But
Immediately dead.
It's like
As
literally,
soon
it's
as
like,
you care about that character? Dead.
Is that Game of
Oh
Thrones?
yeah, I'm
I
glad you
know,
like
it's
that
like-
character.
Now it's
He's
like-
gonna live for a long
yeah.
time. Just kidding, dead.
Laurie R.R. Martin.
Yeah.
But we've joked about this too, where it's like, even though she's dead, you could still see her again because of the mechanics of
Right.
the world. So
right. It's
we've
one of
seen
those.
Big
that's-
James, we've seen Diana Prince, we've seen all these other people. Could they show up again? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you heard here. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
They're not going to come for me when they're like, where's Diana Prince?
Yep.
Like, she's coming in the next one.
Exactly. So
Oh, yeah.
we've talked about where you guys have been. Where are you going to be? Where can our fans go and meet you guys? See you. See your artwork and whatever they do with you.
You go first.
Okay,
You can
okay.
answer that question.
So I'll do it in terms of person then. So in terms of person, I will be for other Texans. I'm gonna be in Houston, Comic Book Palooza.
Comic Palooza. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there. It's gonna be kind of like I've only done Dallas Comic Con and then Kansas City, so this will be me expanding. So if you want to come meet me and talk to me and see some of the stuff I'm working on, we'll be at that con. Hopefully, Fan Expo accepts my application, but I don't think so. I think it's a little too late for this year, so I won't be at Fan Expo. In terms of social media, it's gonna be Marco _ Defillo, which is DEFILLO _art. And yes, I was about to mess up.
You got that too?
No, I got it.
I got it. I'm not. He messed up his own name. I feel better.
But,
I said nothing.
But I said it right. And yeah, and that would be my Instagram. I post mostly everything there. I do have a TikTok, but we don't even know if TikTok even exists.
Yeah,
in the
who
future.
knows?
Right, yeah.
So, but you can find that with my name, Marco Defillo. I did it again. It's so ingrained. Okay, so it's Marco
I'm sorry.
Defillo. You'll find me in every social media. My last name is very unique to me, so I'll find you on TikTok. I'm also on Threads, but I don't get on there much.
I don't either. I have a
Who's
Threads and I
on
never get
Threads?
on there, but I'll get an alert randomly that someone liked something. I'm like, did I post?
Nah, it's all connected to your Instagram,
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah.
So it's connected. And then X, I do have one there.
Do you?
I do, but I don't ever use it.
I was like, I didn't even know you had.
Yeah, I use X a lot. So is it Marco _ Defillo _art?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Well, that's for Instagram, but if you just search Marco Defillo, it's gonna find it in every platform because
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
the only other
Great.
person that has that name is my dad. But
Okay.
he doesn't use
Yeah.
X and all that. So
Find him. Be like,
Dad,
this is-
get off my
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah, right?
yeah. So that's pretty much where you can find me. I'm hoping to do more cons, and yeah, I'll when I come out with the book, more Pale Rider and more Kingdom of Heights information, I'll see if I can get out there more. But so
Absolutely.
far, yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
about you?
Where am I gonna be? I just did Taxoma. I just did Women in Art at Pastime Comics. I think the next one I'm gonna be at is at Carpe Diem in McKinney. He's having a Nauticon.
Yep.
Carpe Fabulum is the sees the story is what that translates to.
Yep.
And that is April 13th and 14th. So I'll be set up there for 2 days. I'm doing something at the McKinney Library. Someone roped me into that, and I don't even know what the heck I'm doing for that, but I'll be there in May.
Scaring children?
I hope not. I mean, I'll be like, hi,
You're
you
gonna
can
have
have
to,
some free candy. You may not read this.
Yeah.
Have a mature rating on
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know. I've had people ask me. They're like, "Oh, my son really likes, zombie books." I was like, "How old is your son?" He's like 13. I'm like, not
That's a good
quite
age.
there.
Yeah.
Not for issue 4. It's not.
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
There's
Yeah,
moments in that one, right? Am I right?
I kind of remember
Yeah,
it, but I drew.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it's been a little while since you drew that, but it's not something that we would show to a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
So yeah, but there's that. So I'm gonna be at those couple things. I'll probably we usually go to Arlington in the fall. There's Cowtown in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm kind of fluid right now. My brother is having a baby this summer, so
Yay.
I was in Michigan last summer because they got married, and now they're having a baby at the same time. So I'm gonna be back in Michigan visiting family. So it's like June. Sorry, I won't be here.
Sweet.
So, but yeah, I'll be around. You can find me everywhere on social media. Same thing. You can look up Laurie Calcaterra or Path of the Pale Rider. I host 2 podcasts during the week. So I have the Tuesday Morning Brew on Tuesdays, funnily enough, at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I also host the Anyone World Showcase. This is a new show for me on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do a lot of podcasts, so if you just search me on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or X or TikTok, I'm there.
So what are your podcasts about? Just curious.
The Tuesday Morning Brew is a long form. It's 2 hours, so I really go in depth with my my guests. But it's usually like 1-on-1 or like 2. It's 2 people on the same project. But just indie creators. A lot of times they're campaigning. Sometimes they just want to talk about what's coming up in their project, and we talk about writing and art. And I've had actors, novelists. I had a young lady who was a ventriloquist.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah.
It was different, and she also played the guitar.
Wow.
So that was a fabulous show. We had a great time. But yeah, all walks come on there, and that show is heavily sought out. Like I'm booked all the way until I think mid-May at this point.
Amazing.
Busy woman.
Yeah,
Good.
and then Any One World is kind of that, but like shorter. It's a 45-minute show, and it's just the people that are involved in like ASAP Imagination, Any One World, and they get to come on the show and have their like 45 minutes.
Nice.
Of fame. Yeah.
Cool. So
Yeah.
you're kind of that's again what I love about this platform, that it's because this, I know today's youth look at our videos, podcasts, all that kind of stuff, YouTube, TikTok, whatever it may be, threads, and think they can't picture a world without it.
Oh.
Whereas I can picture a world before this, and it was so hard to get. Now we all have a voice. We can all go on and say what we want to say, or to
an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we all have a way to get out there, to help others get out there, which is what I really like. I mean, I like the fact that, I'm going to have Mark Walters on, that runs the Dallas Comic Show, on to promote his show and talk about the pros and cons of cons. Pros and cons of cons.
Interesting.
That kind of stuff. And just, the work behind the scenes, the work that goes into it.
Yeah.
Getting the guests, I'm sure, is going to be a fun tale. Just stuff like that. And then with folks like you, getting you, because I had you on because I met you and I liked your story. So
poor Terry. This was at Arlington, when it's like he was right next to us. And I think he heard my pitch 65, 75 times.
Okay.
And eventually he came over and he was like, I like what you have to say, but I don't want to hear it anymore.
yeah. Could you just come on?
Yeah. He was like, will you just come on the show?
Yeah.
We can
Come
have
on the
like a
show.
conversation. And I was like, yeah, then you have to hear the same 30 seconds over and over.
Yeah, but hey,
Marco
I
just
could,
tunes it out.
yeah.
He's like,
but I could
dry.
sell. I could have sold that book that day. I knew it.
Yeah.
But that's the fun of this for me, is getting to share with our viewers and listeners people that I like. And so it's fun knowing that, especially when there's new stuff coming out, because I like your writing.
Thank you.
Okay, maybe I'm a little insane as well, because I really enjoy it and I love your art. So it's just another way of sharing it with other people, saying, hey, look at this. This stuff is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, and I love having indie people on, because a lot of times we're going through this same thing at the same time, and I get to pick their brain about their tactics and their thoughts and what they've done and what's worked and what doesn't. And I've met a ton of people, and I've learned a ton just from having them on the show. So not only do I get to pay it forward and help promote whatever they're working on, but it helps us, in the long run, where I'm like, we're going to try building a banner this time around, right? Because it'll look more professional. And then that went over great. So, you know what I mean? So you get it benefit, but you also get to pay it forward.
Yeah,
so
because
having that podcast was a big change for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when Roberto has been on a couple of times, even when he's not on, we've talked numerous times about he'll pick my brain, because he's new to doing shows and cons, and he's like, hey, how do I get seen more? What do you do to get people to your booth? How does this work? And it's just a thing
You
of
give them
like,
free stuff.
yeah, and it's a thing that some of it is placement, but others is, for me, like with you and Marco, you guys, just listening to you speak at my booth all day it's entertaining. You guys enjoy talking to your, what is it, audience, I guess?
Yeah.
Talking with your audience, interacting.
Yeah.
And it's not just come up, and it's not, because there's folks out there that I go up to their booth or look at what they have, and they don't acknowledge you, or they just like, you want one? You want something? You want an autograph? I'm like, "No, I'm good." But with you guys, it's engaging and it's fun, and I leave knowing something about this character or your art or the book or whatever it is. And that's the engaging part. That's what I think sets people apart in this industry.
It's a community. I like to show my charisma. What I've learned in the comic book industry, you have to talk to people. That's where a lot of artists kind of fall. It's like you have to actually talk to people to actually want them to sell, because you have to sell yourself first before they're interested in your art.
Yes.
You have to sell yourself as a person for them. So I enjoy talking to people. That's what I was doing at Planet Comic Con. I was just like talking to people. I was asking for the random things. We had a whole conversations, like I said, about Doom, and then we talked about like how someone draws poison ivy, and it was like, it's all conversations. I like to have conversation, and then if you want to buy something in the end, it would be cool. Meet me as a person. I like meeting
but
them.
I'm more apt to buy something from you if I actually like you.
Yeah.
It's just that kind of that thing, because with that's why, I mean, I knew about Path of the Pale Rider because I'd heard your speech and heard you talk about the art, but I bought it because I actually liked you guys. I said, okay, let me try it and see what it's about. And now I'm hooked.
And yeah, I think that's how the industry works. I think that's why I've been saying that. I've been coming with new theory and Pack Comic Cons, like, because when people look at my art and it was like, why haven't you been on more stuff? And I'm like, it's all because I haven't shaken the right hand. But other than that, yeah, I love just drawing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
It'll happen eventually.
Yep.
Yeah.
It happens eventually.
So one of the important parts of this and what keeps stuff like this going and your work going anyway, where can they buy your books?
Okay, so if you're listening to this and the campaign is still going, go to the Kickstarter. You can pick up the trade paperback and all of our cool merch is there. But on that same Kickstarter, you can see all the other stuff that we do, like the riddles and the short films and the shenanigans. We're gonna kill a pineapple.
I thought you should me draw killing a pineapple. I was
Yeah.
that's easy enough.
You're like, who are we killing, Laurie? We're
Yeah.
gonna kill a pineapple. That was one of our stretch goals.
Not
But we do.
SpongeBob.
Yeah, I know.
His house
is
dead.
done. If he happens to be in it, oh well.
SpongeBob just looking devastated.
But we do a lot of other stuff besides the comic. But the trade paperback is available on Kickstarter. Everything, when we're not campaigning, is available on the website. It's www.pathofthepalerider.com. Also, we have opened up an international route as well.
very
So if
interesting.
you are not in the U.S., you can actually go to, I think it's ASAP Imagination. There's a couple links. You find the Laurie Calcaterra collection, and the trade paperback is available for international
Very cool.
purchase. The physical copy. We'll have digitals of 1 through 4 available, so you can download that, but you can get a physical trade paperback
Very cool.
delivered to you. We've had some ordered since it went into pre-order, like in the Netherlands, in the UK, and Australia. And
Nice.
yeah, so they're going out.
Everybody's into dead horses.
They're into something.
Yeah.
They're into the story.
Right. So we will have, if you look at the if you look on YouTube, we will have the bio and everything and the link for the Kickstarter there, so you can actually see where to go. We want you to go and support as much as possible.
Do you have a place where you can purchase your prints? You can get original art from Marco Defillo on the Kickstarter.
Nice.
Yeah.
In terms of website, I haven't set it up. People keep asking me, and I should do it.
Fail.
But I do have a website, Marco Defillo. That's another one that you can look me up, and then you can always send me an email, and I can send you the print.
Can they reach out through like Instagrams and something like that as well and say, hey, I would like you to draw me this. How much would it be?
Yeah. You can. Well, on Instagram, I do answer sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't show me the message. So email is always the best way to get to me. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, yeah, just email me and we could talk. And
Cool.
I'm not big enough to be like, nah, I don't want to do that. I would say I'll have nice conversations with you and all that. So yeah, reach out.
Nice. So once again, please go support both of their works. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming down the pipe from both of them. I know that I've seen some of the previews of the art on his Instagram. There's some really, really amazing looking stuff there. And of course, I'm not delving into Laurie's mind anymore. I'm just going to wait until I read it and be blown away, because I'm sure I will, as always. For me, please go hit the like, subscribe button, all of that. You can also see me. I will be at Comic Palooza selling books. I'll be there with Marco, so you can come by, see us both. Come by, get a sketch cover, have him do a sketch for you.
Cool.
We can make it work. But please go hit like, subscribe. We're on good Lord. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on iTunes. Anywhere podcasts are found, Beyond the Bubbles with an S. Please, and also let us know what you think. Give us feedback. If you like a guest, if you want more of that, if you want me to talk about something, let me know. I'll be happy to talk about it if I can. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Thank you, too, as always. We appreciate it.
Yes, thanks for having us.
I know it took time out of your day. You're both extremely busy. So spring break and all that, so I know everything gets a little crazy. But we thank you. And again, the Kickstarter is up until what day? What's the date?
It ends the 21st at 7 p.m. Central.
The
That is
21st.
Thursday, the March 21st at 7 p.m. Central.
So you have until then to go and support. Pretty simple.
Sure. Just go check out the page.
And you can get a
There's
lot of
cool
goodies.
stuff.
And there's a lot of goodies.
I think I have one of the handmade books left.
Oh, so Go fast.
Someone needs to grab that.
Until next time, folks, it's Terry, and we appreciate it. Thanks.